This is the 2024 Honda CR-V in the top-of-the-line RS eHEV trim. And now on its 6th generation, is the Honda CR-V still the Tito mobile that it has always been? And more importantly, is it worth its sticker price of 2,590,000 pesos? In this video, let's find out. So on the question of it being a Tito mobile, does it still look like a Tito mobile? Well, I'm glad to say that finally it doesn't. It's now taking a lot of styling cues from the Honda Civic, particularly the RS variant. So you can really see it with some of the shapes here over by the hood. Your lights, by the way, you get LEDs throughout the entire lineup. However, this top-of-the-line RS eHEV trim even gets them with the Matrix adaptive LEDs. You even get cornering lights for this as well as fog lights, and you even have sequential turn signals. Your grille too, being the RS variant, you get an RS badge over there. It's all blacked out, and it also has a very beautiful honeycomb design. Just to let people know that you are driving a hybrid, the Honda logo is surrounded by some blue surrounds. Now on the side of this vehicle, you can see just how grown up but also sporty this car looks. I mean, look at all the lines here. It's not like the CR-Vs of the past where they're kind of curvy. This one, it looks sharp. Your wing mirror caps, those are blacked out. Your fender flares or molding over here, they're body colored for this trim, and you even have some sort of a reflector right here. Now your rims on this one are also blacked out, 18 inches big, wrapped in a set of sportier tires. These are Dunlop SP Sport Max tires, 235/60/18s. Now, being the hybrid version of this car, I honestly don't think that this is the best set of tires that Honda could give for the CR-V. I wish they used some low rolling resistance tires, but I guess to complement the whole RS idea of it, well, that also kind of makes sense. Now, in line with that whole sporty appeal of it, here over at the back, you even get a shark's fin antenna. You have some sort of a spoiler, and you have really nice set of tail lamps that remind me of the previous generation Volvo XC60. Badging-wise, not much over here. There's a Honda badge, there's an RS eHEV badge, but more importantly, if you look down below, you get 2 exhaust surrounds. But only the passenger side is legit. The one there on the driver's side, well, yeah, it's just for styling. Now, let's open up this tailgate, and yes, you now get a power tailgate. Now, there's a cool feature for this tailgate, but we'll get back to that later. Now here, for space, you have 581 liters of space. You can even fold down these rear seats 60/40, which gives you over 1,000 liters of space. But now you might ask me, where are the other 2 seats? Didn't the previous generation CR-V have like 7 seats too? Well, yes, this 6th generation CR-V, you can get it with 7 seats, but only if you get the bottom 2 trims, the one without the hybrid system. And the reason for that is because if you look under the false floor right here, there is a 1.0 something kilowatt hour hybrid battery, which takes up a lot of space. Hence, Honda couldn't put your extra 2 seats over here. But don't worry, Honda said they also did this as for you to just enjoy the premiumness of this vehicle instead of them having to cram 2 extra people here at the back. Anyway, now the tailgate, let's go back to that. If you look on top, there's your regular button for closing your tailgate, but right beside it, there's another button. There's a picture of an open tailgate and a man walking away. So if you do activate that, you can do whenever you want here at the back. You have your hands full, and as you walk away from the vehicle, it will close by itself. They call this the hands-free walk-away function, and all I can say is it works pretty well. Let's look at the powertrain now. And I told you this car, for its price, it better have hood struts, right? Well, 3, 2, 1. Oh, yes, it does. So what you have here is a 2-liter naturally aspirated gasoline engine. This uses the Atkinson cycle. So just in case you don't know what that is, let's just say it's very fuel efficient. It's tuned for efficiency. And in itself, it makes only 148 horsepower, which is very underwhelming. However, it is paired to a dual motor setup. You have a combined output of 207 horsepower and 335 Newton meters of torque. That is amazing for a CR-V. Now don't think that it's a dual motor with like front and rear wheel drive that gives you all-wheel drive. No, this is only front wheel drive. That dual motor thing, it's kind of complicated, but one of them charges your batteries and the other one is your traction motor, which is connected to the wheels. But anyway, that's a little bit too complicated for this video. For your transmission, you have an eCVT, but it's also not like a conventional CVT that kind of rubber bands and you have this cone thing. No, it's like a direct drive thing, which I'll delve into a little bit deeper later on in the driving segment. What's important is the fuel economy. This car right here returns 12.8 kilometers per liter inside heavy city traffic. That makes it more fuel efficient than a 1-liter 3-cylinder equipped Toyota Wigo. And on the highway, you're gonna return 22 kilometers per liter without even hypermiling. Now, before I show you the interior of the Honda CR-V, first I'll show you the keys, yes, with an S that it has. So, first of all, you have your regular key, and there is a remote start function on it. I mean, that is pretty cool, but a lot of cars nowadays have that. But what they don't have is a key just like this. So this is a smart card key, and this allows you to unlock and lock your vehicle and even start your vehicle just by like touching your door handles and all of that. Dimensions wise, it's about the size of a credit card, so you can easily fit it inside your wallet, but it is a little bit thicker. Anyway, with that aside, now let's check the door thud. And it sounds pretty good. Now let's start up the car, you get push button start, and you'll see that my seats will move forward because it has this very premium feeling, easy entry and exit thing that you'd usually only find in more expensive vehicles. Anyway, inside here, you'll notice that the interior looks very similar to a Honda Civic. You have this very similar honeycomb air vents thing. You have this 10.2-inch digital instrument cluster, and you also have the same 9-inch touchscreen, which comes with wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, a top-down 360-degree view camera, as well as your lane watch camera. It's pretty easy to use and very responsive. My only complaint with it is that the lane watch camera, it's not the most high resolution out there. It's the same system Honda has been using in CR-Vs of the past without really changing anything. But that aside, I mean, this cabin, it's pretty good. The materials are nice. There's a lot of soft touch materials on it, even on the side of the doors too. You get some sort of ambient lighting. The seats, they're very comfortable. You have 2 presets for your memory functions, and this driver's seat has 8-way power adjustments plus lumbar support. Meanwhile, the passenger seat only gets, like 4-way adjustments for the power functions. The steering wheel is also nicely leather wrapped. There's red stitching on it, and the leather they used, that's pretty good. It's not like the shiny kind that you would get with like the City. This one, it's matte, it's nice to hold. The width of it and the girth of it is also perfect, and the adjustments for it is pretty good, both tilt and telescoping, so you can easily find your perfect driving position over here. You get buttons for your advanced driver assistance systems, and you even get paddle shifters. But take note, this is only to control your deceleration, your regenerative braking. That's all it does. Also, speaking of like driving position, it's just so easy to find it here, and you even have a heads-up display that, at least for my height, is smack on. I can easily see that without having to look down to my speedometer as I'm driving alone. You have dual zone climate control. You get a USB-A port, a USB-C port, you even get a wireless charging pad. And gone is the old push button shifter thing. So Honda finally brought back this regular shifter, which is honestly so much easier. You get your drive mode settings here, including Eco, Normal, and Economy mode, which you can only get for this RS trim. You get an electronic parking brake, you also get auto hold, and for cubby spaces, there's 2 here by the middle, cup holders, there's 1 there by the side, and there's also an extra big space here by the center. Now for other functions over here, you do get a huge panoramic sunroof, and you might not get that whole smart driver talk thing or that fam cam thing, but you have this very old school wide concave convex mirror, which allows you to see everything that the kids are doing at the back, and it does a pretty good job too. Finally, for your other really cool features in here include a 12-speaker premium Bose sound system, which sounds amazing. And you also get a whole suite of Honda Sensing, your advanced driver assistance systems, such as autonomous emergency braking, forward collision warning, adaptive cruise control with stop and go. You even get lane keep assist and lane departure warning. Now for the rear seats, remember how I said that the CR-V had always been this Tito mobile? I mean, look at it. Look how far the doors swing outwards. They go like 90 degrees, so fitting a child child seat in here is super easy. And you even get ISOFIX tethers, right? But the covers, yeah, you might lose them because they're not like the flappy type. You do have to keep them somewhere if you do remove them. At the same time, this is also a perfect car for your elderly relatives because height-wise, they can just slide their butts in. And it just is very easy to get inside. Now let's check the door stud back here. Ooh, that sounds pretty good too. Now, when you are back here, the first thing you'll notice is Honda cheaping out on things. So if you look at your door cards over here, the premium soft touch materials from the front, they didn't continue. I mean, for a car costing this much, at almost 2.6 million pesos, I wish Honda did put that, but that's pretty minor. Anyway, space is amazing. Look at how much space I have back here. That's not only for legroom, that's also the same for headroom. You can even recline these seats and they go pretty far back, which makes it super comfy back here. At the same time, since there is a 7-seater version of this car, the non-hybrid ones, you can also slide your seats forwards and backwards. Now, for your toys back here, you do get your own air vents. There are 2 USB-C ports over here at the back, but you don't get USB-A ports. So if you're using like those older wires, it's the time to upgrade now. You also have a very thick armrest by the center, and you get 2 cup holders over there. Now, the really cool parts about this back seat is, first of all, the lights. You simply touch the lens and they will turn on. At the same time, this is the first time I've seen this in any car of its class. You have seatbelt height adjustments. You usually only find that in the front, right? But here, you get it for the back too. Oh, by the way, seating 3 people back here, oh, you can easily do it too because the hump, it's virtually non-existent. It's probably only like half an inch high. So yeah, the car also feels pretty wide. So now we drive the 2024 Honda CR-V RSE HEV. And driving this car, it just feels super light. You know how the name of this vehicle is CR-V, or comfortable runabout vehicle? You can really feel it. But in past CR-Vs, you can feel that it's comfortable, you can feel that you can use it to run about, and it is a vehicle. But for this one, it's more like a P-CR-V, a premium comfortable runabout vehicle. And why is that? You see, older CR-Vs, yeah, sure, they were comfortable, they were good at vibration and harshness suppression, but when it comes to noise insulation and suppression, it could use a little bit more help. But for this one, Honda finally fitted it with active noise cancelling in here, which makes it super quiet in city speeds and only, a little bit improvement left to be made on highway speeds. And also inside the city, like 80% of the time, it runs on its EV mode, which, by the way, you can't force it to enter, but it just goes there 80% of the time. So it's just super quiet in here. And also, 80% of the time, this car runs on like a series hybrid setup. So think the likes of the Nissan Kicks, wherein your gasoline engine is merely a generator. And in this mode, you have everything instantly. Power is instant. You don't even feel the engine cutting in at any point in time. It just feels like you're driving an electric vehicle, which means you also get that instant torque. You get all the quietness. But when you do want this car to hustle, just step on it a little, and it really does go. And it also has this added bonus of having this 2-liter engine, right? Which, listen to that. That sounds really good. Slap on a good exhaust system in here, and you can probably have a slightly sports car sounding like vehicle, despite the nature of this Tito Mobile, the CR-V. Now let's go to the power, right? And power is really good. 207 horsepower and 335 Newton meters of torque. This is by far the most powerful CR-V that I've ever tried. And you can really feel every bit of it. It's such a fun car to drive. Again, everything is instant. The eCVT you have in here, it's not really a true CVT in the usual sense that we know it. It doesn't have the rubber banding effect. This is more like a direct drive system. So it just feels super responsive at any point in time. It's just really good. I've never felt a CR-V feel this good, and I've never had this much fun inside a CR-V. Oh, the torque, by the way, 335 Newton meters might feel like a lot. And you might think that it's pretty harsh upon hard acceleration. And while it is fun, while it is there, it's not upsetting to your passengers. You're not gonna get any complaints from your passengers that, oh no, you're driving a little bit too fast, and that they're feeling uncomfortable. The steering in here too, just as before, it's super light. Even if you put this in sport mode, it feels composed, yes, but it is still pretty light. And the good thing about it is when you are going pretty fast, it has sufficient resistance to make you feel very secured during your high-speed runs. Now let's dive a little bit deeper into the suspension you have here. So as with before, again, it is super comfortable. Yes, it deals with bumps and speed bumps really well. There's almost zero harshness in here. Yet despite that, for some reason, it still handles pretty decently. This is also one of the best handling CRVs I've tried. Before, there were a significant amount of body roll. This time, there still is some, but it really isn't too bad. So it makes it a very well-rounded vehicle overall. And speaking of being a well-rounded vehicle, visibility is also excellent. I mean, sure, there is this lane watch camera, but since the resolution on it isn't really the best, sometimes I get kind of annoyed with using it. So I still just turn my head as you're supposed to. And the rear quarter panel is so big, you have no blind spots in this car. None whatsoever. Finally, let's talk about the advanced driver assistance systems in here. And I think this is an area wherein Honda could probably improve the CRV a little bit more. You see, while you have adaptive cruise control with a low speed function, the stop and go function, it doesn't get TJA or traffic jam assistance. This is a feature that we've been seeing lately in cars of this price range, where it can turn the wheel by itself even at low speeds. For this one, it kind of works only above 70 kilometers per hour or so. So yeah, it's not really a bad system overall. It's just that they're missing that one feature which will make your life a lot easier, especially considering how much you're paying for this car. It may have taken 6 generations, but Honda has finally untitofied the Honda CR-V. This is finally a car that even a teenager would want to be seen in. And at 2,590,000 pesos, it really is no budget meal. It is honestly pretty pricey, but with all the features, the driving fun, the driving comfort, as well as the comfort in general that it gives you, I think this is one of the best 2,590,000 pesos that you can currently spend on a vehicle.